Okay, we'll open up for Trey. First question. Start here at Marcus in the front on the left.
Hey Trey, what was the mood yesterday, and what's the mood right now of the team, and what was the mood on the flight?
I think we're excited about the opportunity. We got another game today. Put the last two behind us, and try to get back on the right track. So we know we're in a hole. We know the situation, but I think we're excited for it. We're ready for it, and we're ready to compete and have some fun.
Next question.
Trey, over on the wall. Everyone talks about not trying to do too much and just doing their own job. Is that a conversation you guys have at this point? Like, hey, let's just stay within ourselves? Or is that this kind of something at this point everyone knows has to happen?
A little bit of both. I mean, we've talked about it before the series even started. It's easy to kind of talk about it, and then it's a different thing to actually do it in the game, I think, too, it just depends if you win or lose, really. I mean, if we win those two games by one run, I don't think we're talking about half the things we're talking about. So, like I said before the series started, nothing matters other than winning and losing, and that still holds true. So, you got to find ways, even on your worst day or when you don't feel your best, to compete, add value, and make plays. And I think we got a lineup of those guys. So, got to find a way to win this one.
Can we go back to Marcus on the left?
Two parts. First, can you talk about how your approach as a hitter and fielder this year is different from maybe what it was at the beginning of last season? And can you also talk about, you've had several managers, can you talk about what makes, in your eyes, Rob Thomson valuable to a team that's like this?
I think, I guess I'll answer the Rob one first, but I think he's so even-keeled, which is hard to do in this game, especially when your expectations are so high. He never gets too high or too low, and I think that's really good from a leader standpoint. I think also, too, he does a good job of old school, new school, where he does some of the analytics, but he also has that old school feel to him. And I think sometimes certain managers get one way or the other, and that's kind of their whole identity. I feel like he's got a lot of qualities that pertain to both sides, so I think that benefits him, benefits us, helps the newer players coming up, and helps the older guys that we have kind of blend together. So I think he does a good job of that. And then the first question. Defensively, I just feel really consistent. I feel like my first move's so much better. Put myself in a good position to catch the baseball, and then once I'm in that good position, the throw becomes much easier. So I feel like my transfers have been better because of it, and all the things that we talked about in spring training, talked with Bobby for the last few years, feels like coming to fruition, and feel like I've done it for a long period of time now, where I know I can do that day in and day out and contribute there. And then as far as hitting goes, I think I always felt like hitting one or two with Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Freddie Freeman, all these guys behind me that I've had in my career, Rendon, and all these people, I was always ready to hit. I always felt like I was going to be the one, getting attacked. And I feel like the game's just changed where they want chase, they want strikeouts, they don't care if they walk you. And I think that's something I had to accept a little bit more. And every situation is different matchups are different, and that's always changing. But I feel like this year I did a better job of just taking my at-bat, seeing the pitches, and not necessarily thinking too much behind me, more so just kind of staying in my at-bat. And I think that helped me a little bit with the walks and just having better quality at-bats.
In front here, Matt.
Hey, Trey. When you guys have two tough games like those first two, can a change of scenery help coming out here? Does that matter at all? Or do you?
I hope so. I don't think it matters. I think, like I said, you got to play good quality baseball this time of year. It doesn't matter who you're playing. All these teams in the postseason are here for a reason. Obviously, this one's over here. Dodgers are really, really good, and I don't feel like we've beat ourselves, but we just haven't done enough to win the games. So I think that's what it comes down to is just executing, and we haven't done a good job of that. You always want home field advantage. We always feel like we play better there. The record proves that. So. Do we want to be at home? Yes, but as far as being on the road, it's the same game, and the same things still apply. So you got to execute, you got to win pitches and make plays and do all the things to get that win.
Okay, going to go here in the front.
Rob talked about being patient, passing the baton and all that right now. Is it tough to balance that aggressiveness with patience, and how do you approach that?
Yeah, I think we've done a decent job of that. I feel like we've had quite a few walks in both games. I don't know the exact numbers. We just haven't gotten those big hits with runners in scoring position. So, we've gotten the traffic out there. We've had plenty of situations to kind of, the first game I had in a bat where we could broke it open. And then, last game when it was tied, we had a few opportunities. And I think it's just that balance of, you're playing baseball, you're playing the same game. If the pitch is there, you got to be ready to hit. If not, you got to be willing to take and kind of pass the baton like you just said. And I think we're having good quality at bats. We just got to get that momentum and get those big hits. And I think the homer always helps too. There hasn't been a lot of them in this series so far, and that's good from our pitching side. But we need to slug a little bit more as well.
Anything else for Trey? We go back over here to Paul on the right.
Trey, you've tested the hamstring a little bit in these first two games, busting on the line in game 1, stolen base game 2. 1, how's that feeling, 100%? And 2, have you talked to Harrison all about what he's going through or how to deal with kind of trying to play through that right now?
Yeah, I think we're all playing through stuff at different times. I feel, as far as my hamstring goes, it feels good. I feel like it's behind me and feel like I'm ready to play. I didn't really think about it too much. When I stole that base yesterday, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I was hurt, which is a good thing. So. I think I'm past it, but yeah, me and Harrison talked a little bit, and it's just that balance of, am I good enough to help the team win? And I think he's kind of going through that, and I think the rest and the off days has helped him a little bit. I don't know if he's playing today or not, but we all want to play. We all want to, battle through injuries and contribute, and I think it's up to him and the training staff and Rob to kind of decide, where he's at, but. From talking to him, seems like he's pretty excited. It sounds like it's getting better, and hopefully he's ready to go today, if not soon, and get him back out there because he's been really big for us.
All right, we'll open up for questions for Rob. We'll start over here on the right, against the wall.
Rob, how close do you watch Aaron tonight? Are you almost going batter to batter with him? Can you give him time to settle in? I mean, how close do you have to watch him?
I mean, like anyone, pretty close at this stage of the game. So, but we've got a plan together, and Aaron knows it. Aaron knows it. So, yeah, we'll be ready to go.
We go here in the middle, front.
Hey, Rob. Trey talked about how valuable it can be that you're even keel. Is that something were you always that way, or did you have to learn that at some point in your life?
I think for the most part, I've kind of been this way, but I learned a lot working for Joe Torre, and that's who he is, and I think the players appreciate that you're not hot and cold and flying off the handle every other inning. So I think it keeps them relaxed a little bit.
Marcus?
When Trey got to Philadelphia, his defensive mechanics were very different, and I think his hitting approach was maybe a little different as well. Can you address sort of the kinds of changes he's had to make and how remarkable it is that a guy at this stage of his career is willing and able to make them?
Yeah, as far as the defense is concerned, I think he's improved so much just reading hops, his glove work, his throwing accuracy. Him and Bobby Dickerson have done a tremendous job and a lot of work to clean it up a little bit. As far as the offense is concerned, I think anytime a guy comes to a new team and has a big contract, I think it puts a little added pressure on it. And I think that's how it all started with him, his first half season anyway here in Philadelphia. But I think he's settled in. I think he's using the field a little bit more, not focusing so much on the home run ball because it's going to come because he's strong, he's got bat speed, but getting on base, using the field, creating havoc for the other team. So I think those are the biggest changes.
It's remarkable that he was willing and able to do it.
Yeah, this is a game of adjustments, adapting, trying to be the best version of yourself, and sometimes it's tough for a veteran to believe that he needs to improve, he can improve. But Trea has certainly taken that in and been a really good student, and he's gotten a lot better.
I'm going to go over here to Paul on the right.
Rob, I'm sure the preference is to get Ranger a clean inning, but would you bring him in the middle of an inning if needed, or would it be a traditional reliever and then get Ranger ready for the next?
Yeah, I'd never say never, but I'd prefer to clean up an inning with somebody else.
And then with Bader, what do you feel comfortable with him doing or not doing today?
Probably the same thing he did in Game 2. I think there's a little better chance that he'd run for himself, but we don't know 100% yet. Well, that's kind of be a game time decision, but he can pinch hit for sure.
Next question for Rob. Let's go back here on the right. Yep.
Hi, Rob. With Ranger, he exited his last start early, and because he was a little banged up, he didn't pitch in the scrimmage you had, and then he was available in the bullpen for the first couple of games. Is there any concern about just routine-wise, how he might look? Maybe just with a long layoff, is there any concern there? And how do you feel like he's kind of stayed in tune with a questionable schedule, like when he would actually be able to pitch?
Yeah, so he's been up on the mound a couple times, so I feel good about that. And I think everybody knows Ranger. I don't think there's not too much that bothers him. So I have full confidence he's ready to go.
We stay there on the right.
Rob, what's the mood of the guys? I'm sure you've spoken with a couple of them, going into this game. Just how are they feeling? Just optimistic. What's the tone, basically?
Yeah, I think they feel good, and I've heard a couple of them talk about, you got to win one game, and this is the most important game of the year right here. So you got to take them one at a time. You've got to trust yourself and trust your teammates, and stay relaxed and stay loose and be yourselves.
Destiny in the middle.
Back to Bader. If you guys know around game time that he can run for himself, can you DH him and put Schwarber in left field? Can he make that change, or is that off the
No, we wouldn't do that.
Anything else for Rob? Okay. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.